Hello there guys and everyone, welcome to Joe's Bus Train Plan and Lift Adventures. I trust that you are well. Today's video is going to be the 303 from Worcester to Kidderminster, but however, I'm in Kidderminster at the moment, but however, the journey is going to start at the Crown Gate bus station in Worcester. And it's going to be a very exciting video, and of course there will be more than one 303 video. There will be the current 303 we know today, the 303 that used to go through the railway station, the 303 that used to go to Wolverhampton, Worcester to Wolverhampton by bus, and of course the one that used to link the Worcester Royal, Kidderminster General and Redditch Alexandra. And it's going to be a very exciting video. As you probably know, I filmed the 303 before during the Worcester floods, but however this is a proper one because as you remember, during the coronavirus lockdown, the first one, the 303 got suspended and was almost going to be withdrawn. But the service is now reinstated, it's back to its normal route. And today's bus got on is an First Start. As you probably know, First used to operate in Kidderminster, and of course it fits in with all the First buses, which is in Worcester, because as you know, First still operate in Worcester. And I just hope that you enjoy the video. And of course a big shout out to Jake, who loves watching my YouTube videos. Keep watching, Jake, and I'm going to be uploading more videos yet to come. So as you know, I've just saw the bus just arriving, so I will see you at Worcester bus station.
So then we are now in Worcester and we're about to depart the Crown Gate bus station to Kidderminster bus station. And the Crown Gate bus station is below the shopping centre, which is called the Crown Gate, and that has variety of stores like Iceland, New Look, Superdrug, House of Fraser, Primark, and a few other stores. There is a lot of independence in that shopping centre. However, the one with House of Fraser and Primark is separate, but it's still part of the Crown Gate itself. And then of course there was Cathedral Plaza, which was on the other side of Worcester, the south end. So anyway, the journey on the 303 today is going to go via Ombersley and Hartlebury and then into Kidderminster. And we are travelling on an First Start. As you probably remembered what I said in the introduction, that today's video is going to include an First Start, and it fits in well with all the other First Starts in Worcester, because as you know, Worcester has some First Starts that do the local services that go around Worcester. So the routes that you would find in Worcester, which is like under First, you've got the 30 from Worcester to Dines Green, the 31A to Henwick Park. There used to be a 31, but that was taken off during the coronavirus lockdown. The first one, you've got the 32 to Bainall in Kempsey. You've got the 34, which is a local service, and the 34 goes to Warndon Villages. You've got the 35 to Blackpool, which uses branded Mercedes-Benz Citaros, branded as the Nimrod. The 36 from Worcester City Centre to the Royal Hospital. The 37, which goes up to Northwick, almost the same route as this one. The 44 to Malvern Hills. 38, which is the direct service from Worcester to the Royal Hospital. 45 to the Sixth Form. There's even the services to Pershore. You've got the 144 that goes to Birmingham through Bromsgrove and uses branded B7s known as the Salt Road. And I'm hoping to do the Salt Road probably after the coronavirus pandemic. Don't know when that will happen at the moment, but like I say, I'm taking stuff easy at present. And as well as that, you've got the 144A that goes up to Cat's Hill. It used to be known as the 147 to Hales Owen, and the 363 up to Royal. Used to go further to Tewkesbury. There's even a service from Great Malvern to Upton, and then you got further on the Ledbury end, the 405 that goes on to Hereford, that only operates on Wednesdays, which is a midweek only service. 417 that goes from Worcester to Ledbury. Of course, there's a 420 from Worcester to Bromyard. There's a 482 from Ledbury to Leominster that operates Fridays only, end of the week. There's even the 600, that's the Ledbury local service, goes around Ledbury. You've got the 671 from Bromyard to Ledbury that operates Tuesdays only. 672, another Bromyard to Ledbury, which runs on Thursdays. 673, that runs Tuesdays and Thursdays, Bromyard to Ledbury. 674, Bromyard to Ledbury, but however, there's no time, I don't know what day that one operates, the 674. 675, Ledbury to Great Malvern, that runs on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, so it's a Monday to Saturday service, no service on Sundays. 676, that runs the same time scale. It's a bit like the 113 and 114 that are either run Bridgnorth to Telford, except this one is on the Worcestershire end, so the 676 and the 675 are a bit like the 113, 114 because they run on the selective days. And then of course you got the school routes, and then of course you got the X50 towards Evesham, which is run by First. As well as that, you've got LMS that also operate in Worcester as well, and they do a handful of routes around Worcester area, and I'm hoping to give their services a try out. We've got the 20 that is the Droitwich Circular, and there is a service that runs Worcester to Droitwich, and you got and as well as that, you've got 20A and 20B which all run in Droitwich. And then of course there's the Worcester locals, the 21s, the 24s, the 39 Blackpool down to Lowerwick, the 42 from Worcester Hospital to the Morrisons. Well, it runs on Great Malvern end, so it goes to Great Malvern Morrisons supermarket. And as well as that, you've got the 356 that goes from Worcester to the Grafton Flyford. And so there is a handful of routes that they do, and then of course you got the 423 that is the Worcester to Alfric and back to Worcester. It's a circular, and of course you got the W3 to the 6 ways, and the Pershore local, the 566. So there is quite a few routes around the Worcester area, and of course there's even Astons that do the 15A, 15C, which are the Kidderminster locals, the 19, the Droitwich local, along with the 21, 26, 27 and 54, which also operate in Worcester. The 26 and 27 go to Battenall. 54 goes from Pershore to Worcester. 294, Worcester to Kidderminster. 296, Worcester to Bewdley. 308, Worcester to Martley. 309, Worcester Sixth Form to Hanley Broadheath. 310, Worcester to Martley and Clifton on Tame. Course 332, Hanley Castle to Worcester via Upton and Kempsey. 540, Evesham to Tewkesbury. Used to go further to Cheltenham. 564, Pershore to Inkborough, Barrow, Evesham and Pershore. 565, Pershore to Elmley Castle, Evesham and Pershore. And of course there's a lot of the school services that they operate as well. And then of course you've got a service that runs from Worcester to Redditch, it's the 150 and continues up to Birmingham as well. And then, as well as that, you even have a service from Worcester to Tenbury Wells, which is the 758, operated by Yarringtons. Because, as you know, if you want to see Adam King's video, make sure you subscribe to his channel. It's all in capital letters. And he's done a Yarringtons adventure. I didn't film the full 758, which is the Worcester to Tenbury to Worcester due to the memory, because as you know, need to manage my memory as I can. But I filmed the 291 that is from Kidderminster to Tenbury, and the rest of the routes that I do are school contracts. So the only two frequent routes that I do is the 291 Kidderminster to Tenbury Wells via Bewdley, and of course the 758 from Tenbury Wells to Worcester via Great Whitley. So those are the routes that they do in the Worcestershire area. So that is all the routes that you would find in Worcester, and we are just now going through Northwick, and we've just gone past the old Northwick cinema. It's now known as a furniture shop, and of course we've also gone past the Co-op store as well in Northwick. So here we are, just heading into Ombersley right now. And after Ombersley, the service is going to head towards Hartlebury. And then after Hartlebury, the service is going to go on towards Kidderminster. And as you probably know, this goes the same route what I did on the previous video, the previous 303, and that was before the coronavirus pandemic, when everything was all bustling. But however, it's all changed since coronavirus, and as you know, I'm wearing my face mask, still keeping distance, social distancing, so it was used during this video that was put in place today. So here we are on our way now towards the Ombersley area, and then on to Hartlebury. So then we're now on our way towards the island now, which is the turn off towards the A449, and the A449 has different exits. The first exit, coming on this side, turns off towards Kidderminster, which we're heading for, and along with the West Midlands Safari Park, and of course the popular Severn Valley Railway, which runs from Kidderminster to Bridge North. The second exit for the A449 goes to the M5 motorway, and it also gives connections onto Evesham and Blackpool, and of course the Worcester Royal Hospital. There's even another exit, but does not go on to the A449. Instead it goes down a little lane into a small hamlet of Claines. But however, the road that we're coming along, which we are on the A449, goes into Worcester city centre and goes to a coach and lorry park, and of course the popular art gallery. So we're about to turn off onto the A449 to Kidderminster. So then we're now going on to the A449 towards Kidderminster, and in the background will be the Aberley Clock Tower that is served by the 758 service from Worcester to Tenbury Wells. And coming up will be a big sign, a big green sign on the A449 to all the destinations. 12 miles to Kidderminster, 28 miles to Wolverhampton, and 45 miles up into Stafford. However, we're heading to Kidderminster. So, as you probably know, it's a bit similar to a motorway, but however, this is an A road because the A road signs are green while the motorway signs are blue. So this is a little bit of a similar version to the A34 trunk road that goes from Bicester in Oxfordshire down to Winchester in Hampshire, and that joins up with the M3 motorway that then goes down to Southampton, then joins up with the M27 to take them down to Ringwood, down towards the New Forest, and then the A31 that will take into Ringwood and then on to Bournemouth, and then join with the A338 into Bournemouth town centre. And then that would then lead down to Swanage area, which is south of Bournemouth, and it's on the Jurassic Coast. So here we are, just going down in towards the small village of Ombersley. Well, village, it's a hamlet. And of course you've got sign for Chatley, and of course the Hawford Dove coat run by the National Trust, because as you know, the National Trust manage a lot of UNESCO sites, natural beauty locations within Worcestershire, Staffordshire, and even in Shropshire and even beyond. And of course, you even got you've got Hadley as well, and of course you've got the Hadley Bowling Green Inn, which is around that way as well, and as well as Hadley, that is all the areas that's coming up. So we're just about to come into the small hamlet of Ombersley, almost. Just going by Park Farm Shooting Ground, and there'll be a big sign coming up, which will take us onto the A4133 to Ombersley, and of course there's connections to Droitwich and Tenbury, and however there is no service to Droitwich from Ombersley or to Tenbury, but there used to be a service from Ombersley to Droitwich. That was the 354 that went from Harlow down to Redditch. There is only a rare occasion when a Tenbury bus does go through Ombersley, and that was during the Worcester floods back in 2020. And any time when that happens, even if there's like diversions that's been put in place, but however that is only now and again. So we're nearly arriving at the hamlet of Ombersley, and when we get to Ombersley the service is going to continue down towards the Hampton areas, which includes Dunhampton, Northampton and Sitchhampton as well. So there are good So then we're now coming into Ombersley. As you can tell, there's a lot of Tudor houses to be seen in the area, and of course there's only a small amount of shops which are basically independents, like small pubs, and of course you've got the church that sits in the middle of the hamlet. So we're just now leaving Ombersley and we're heading down towards Hartlebury, and we will be coming out by the Reindeer Inn pub, and then further down, if we go towards Doverdale and go further down an area where there's no buses, there's the Honeybee pub as well. So then we're still on the A4133, and we're just coming out of the Ombersley area, and we will be reverting back onto the A449 to carry on into Kidderminster, and then we will turn off to go on towards Hartlebury, and then now on to the A449 back into Kidderminster. So here we are, and of course the Reindeer Inn, which is now known as Pet Supply Company store, and of course there's a few pubs, and there's even the Leaking Well, And then, of course, we'll come out by the Mitre Oak, which is over north of Ombersley. And just after Ombersley, we'll continue over to the Hartlebury service station and then continue towards Hartlebury itself. And of course in Dunhampton you've got the Honeybee and of course the Little Owl Farm Park as well.
So then, we're now down at Toolbrook. Of course, we're towards the A442. Continue on to Telford. So maybe I could consider a Worcester to Telford by bus. But however, those two will have to be done virtually, so that would include the 303, which is this one, then the 125, and then on to what is actually the
just about to complete the journey, and thank you very much for watching the 303 Worcester to Kidderminster via Ombersley and Hartlebury, and it's been a good pleasure for you to be enjoying. Once again, shout out to Jake, who loves watching my YouTube videos. Keep watching, there will be more to come, and the next video coming up is going to be, of course, the service 133 Kidderminster to Droitwich, and that will be released coming up. And the next ones after this will be all about the 303, and of course the routes that were done by First Bus in Kidderminster. Thank you very much for watching. So then, today's video is the 296 from Worcester to Bewdley, and we are travelling on an Enviro 300, and we're just coming out of Worcester bus station with the Crowngate shopping centre right above it. And as you probably know, the 296 started off as First Worcestershire, First Midland Red when they used to do operations in Kidderminster, but was numbered the 295 and ran from Worcester to Kidderminster via Hallow, Starport-on-Severn and Wilden. Then First Midland Red, First Worcestershire stopped operating in Kidderminster and was then taken over by Diamond Bus. And Diamond did the 295 up until 2018 and was then taken over by Coniston Coaches, but numbered the 296 and was rerouted to Bewdley. And the Bewdley section was previously numbered the 16, operated by Worcestershire County Council Woosh, and of course Whittles. And I assume that First Midland Red, First Worcestershire did do a service down that corridor. So anyway, we are just crossing over the River Severn right now in Worcester. And as you probably know, the River Severn had suffered floods way before the coronavirus pandemic. So here we go. Now, as you probably know, I've been on Enviro 300s with other operators in the past, especially with the likes of Diamond Bus on the 292 Kidderminster to Ludlow, 303 Kidderminster to Worcester, which goes via Hartlebury and Ombersley. Also, I've had it on the 42 Kidderminster to Redditch and Bromsgrove. I've even had it on the 3 Kidderminster to Arley Kings, and I've had it on a few variety of routes, even the former 287, which used to run Merryhill to Stourbridge. So anyway, here we are heading over to the Henwick area, which is on the opposite side of Worcester, and we will be crossing over the level crossing at Henwick, which carries the Cotswolds and Malverns line, which is part of the Oxford, Worcester and Wolverhampton Railway. And as you probably know, there used to be a service from Worcester to Wolverhampton, a train service, and even a bus service called the 303, because as you know, the 303, which is an existing route in Worcester, used to go beyond Kidderminster to serve Stourbridge and then on to Wolverhampton. Now, I was going to do a Worcester to Wolverhampton by bus vlog in 2020, but however, due to the coronavirus restrictions, it had to be put on hold. So I will make an announcement when I'll be doing the Worcester to Wolverhampton by bus video in weeks to come. So anyway, here we are, just going down the Henwick Road towards the Worcester University. So then we're on our way now to Worcester University, and as you probably know, Worcester University is also served by the 31A, which is the Worcester to Henwick Park, operated by First Bus. And before the COVID pandemic, there was even a 31 that ran the same route but slightly, and then during the COVID pandemic, the 31 was removed and journeys merged with the 31A. And that enabled to use larger vehicles going down that corridor. Because as you probably remembered, the 31 was worked by an Optare Solo, which had a Riversider branding, Riversider livery branding for the service. So anyway, here we are now at the Worcester University right now, and we are just about to head off down towards Holteeth via Hallow, and then over Shrawley, Astley, and then over the Walshes, and then through part of the Harley Kings area, and then through Starport, through Burlish, and then going down the big hill towards Bewdley and come out into Bewdley by the Bewdley Leisure Centre and the Severn Valley Railway Station. So then we are just about to head out of Worcester and then heading towards Bewdley, going via the small hamlets like Hallow, Holteeth, Shrawley, Astley, and then over the Walshes, and then into the town of Starport on Severn, and then after Starport on Severn, the service will go through Burlish, and then after Burlish it will then climb for one last time, and then we'll proceed into Bewdley Lode Street, which is the main part of Bewdley, with the church that's located within the middle of the area. So there is other routes that also come across this corridor. Not only the 296, there's even a service 294 that actually follows the 296 between Worcester and Starport, which is operated by the same company, Aston's, and it was also operated by First Worcestershire, Diamond Bus and Coniston Coaches. And that only runs early in the mornings to early evenings, which are late afternoons. So here we go. And there's other routes that also serve this area, with the likes of the 310s, which is a local service in Worcester, along with the 308, and of course you've got the 758, which goes from Worcester to Tenbury Wells, which is operated by Yarringtons. And the 308 and the 310s, and even I assume the 309, which I'm not sure if it comes along here, are operated by Aston's. So 308, 309, 310, 294, 296 are operated by Aston's. The 758 is operated by Yarringtons, that runs the Tenbury to Worcester service. And as you probably know, if there was a video of the 758 route before the coronavirus pandemic done by Adam King, and feel free to subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's all in capital letters, and of course he's filmed this route before the coronavirus lockdown number 1, when we were in that difficult time when it was operated by Coniston's and was using an Optare Solo, which was one of my favourites. It was a 55 plate Optare with seat belts in. So anyway, here we are coming into the beauty of the countryside right now, all the way to Starport. And so anyway, here we are just about to head into the awesome countryside. Of course, you got the Top Barn, which is also an area where there's a few little independent stores. So here we are right now in the beauty countryside. This does remind you a bit of the Rabbit Run, which runs into Telford. And there will be a few more videos coming up after this video. There's going to be the rediscovered 70, the original 70 that ran Cannock to New Cross, and even the original Wolverhampton service. And then after this will be routes that were done by First Bus in Kidderminster, version 1 on the second part. And then after that there's going to be
Well, it's going to possibly be the 142, the Stourbridge to Hales Owen. Hales Owen to Stourbridge, which I filmed in 2019 in a Mela, but I'm going to do the 2021 edition of the 142. And then after that, there'll be no videos after the 142 for a while, and hopefully maybe next week I might consider doing the 202, the Hales Owen to Bromsgrove service, which was reinstated last year, 2020, towards the end, since it got suspended and replaced by the 44 that went via Northfield, and also to include the new Bromsgrove local service, and I'll be making a few more announcements closer to the date. So then back to the route, we are now en route towards the Starport area, and we are just thrashing through the busy, bustling countryside. So as you probably know, this road does remind you a bit of the rabbit run that runs the Telford Way, and more than likely maybe the A34 trunk road, which goes from Bicester down to Winchester, which I really enjoy going on, and I hope that I'll be able to go through there in the not too distant future. So here we are, we've just passed a right street light operated by Aston's, and of course we saw an LMS travel Dennis Start as well, because as you know, LMS also operate in the Worcester area. There is variety of operators that operate in Worcester. You've got Aston's, you've got Diamond Bus, you've got Johnson's, you've got Yarrington's, you even got First, which is the main operator, you've got LMS. And like I say, Johnson's only do one service from Worcester, which is the 150s, which also comes with the 150A, 150B, and I assume that the 150C also goes to Worcester. And of course, in the Starport area, you only got Aston's and Diamond, which are the main operators, and of course you got the community service, Wyre Forest Dial-A-Ride, that do the 213 Starport to Astley Birth, that only runs on Thursdays only. And that was also a Coniston Coaches service, and that used a little bread van, little minibus, and Wyre Forest Dial-A-Ride use a lot of their minibuses on their tendered services, contract services. So here we are going down into the Hallow and Holt Heath area right now, and as you probably know, this does look like the A34 trunk road, especially heading towards the Drayton area near Didcot Power Station. Well, it isn't there anymore, Didcot Power Station, because Didcot Power Station's now been demolished, and also Rugeley Power Station has been demolished as well, and along with Builders Power Station in Ironbridge, which is close to Telford. It was grey brick at the Didcot and also at the Rugeley Power Station, while the one in Ironbridge build was near Telford was a red brick one. So here we are coming along the route now, down towards the Hallow area now, and so as you know, there's a lot of cars that come up and down this road as well, because this isn't just for buses, it's for anything like cars, buses, and even taxis maybe, and even coaches as well, because as you probably know, I've had a coach on this corridor as well, when the 296 was operated by Coniston's before the coronavirus outbreak, and of course it was a van haul, and I was really happy to be riding a van haul coming down towards the Bewdley area and Starport. Anyway, back to the route right now. As you can tell, we are still in the beauty countryside, and the next port of call will be turning off to serve
the Shrawley area, and then over Astley, and of course you got nearby Astley Birth as well, which is served by the 213, the White Forest Dollar Ride service, which used to be known as Coniston's. And then after Astley Birth, the route then goes over the Walshes, as we all know, and then through Starport, which is home to a fun fair called Treasure Island, and of course there's the two smaller amusements called Playland, and of course there's Flamingo Amusements. So anyway, here we are now in the Holteith area now, and we are just turning off now, and we are just going to be heading over to the Shrawley Common and of course the Astley Common as well. So we're just going to go along the common right now, and also going past the Lenchford Inn, as we're now coming towards Lenchford now on the 296. And as you probably know, the 758 has now parked company, and that goes through Great Whitley, which is home to the popular Whitley Court, which has a huge house and an iconic church, and even the magic water fountains as well. And of course, it then climbs up a steep hill over Aberley, which is home to the popular Aberley Hall School, which is a boarding school as well. Which also has its iconic clock tower, which I used to refer to as Little Ben, not to be confused with Big Ben, which is part of the Houses of Parliament in London. And then that route then goes over towards Tenbury Wells area, which terminates in Team Street at Tenbury Wells, and then turns around at the swimming pool, and then returns back to Worcester. There is another service that operates in the Tenbury area that runs frequently, and it's of course the 291 that runs to Kidderminster and goes by Clouds Top and then the Far Forest. And as you probably know, the 291 used to be operated by R&B Travel, Holland's Coaches, and of course it started off as First Midland Red, which was known as the Midland Red West back in the day. So here we are, just heading up towards the Shrawley area now, and as you probably know, this has a lot of tight lanes. Well, heading up towards Astley, sorry, and as you know, there's a lot of tight lanes on this route. And it does actually remind me a bit of the 297, the Kidderminster to Bridge North, because as you know, the 297 goes along loads of narrow lanes, and probably a little bit similar to the 125, which is the Stourbridge to Bridge North, that goes via Kidderminster and Bewdley. And of course, as you probably know, this was the scenic version of the 303, the Kidderminster to Worcester service. Now the 303 will be coming up very, very soon, and I will make an announcement when that video is going to be done and released. The same will also go with the Worcester to Wolverhampton by bus as well, and the 202 should be coming up sometime next week or beyond. And also to include this new Bromsgrove link called the DRT, which operates the Bromsgrove town area. And here we are, just going along the route all the way into Shrawley and Astley. So here we go, we're going round a bend right now, and as you probably know, you do see variety of pylons on the 296 as well, because there's pylons in the field on the 296. There's even some on the 303 route as well, which is the Worcester to Kidday, and of course there is some on the 144 Kidderminster, Worcester to Birmingham, and there is some on quite the majority of the routes, even the 355, the Droitwich one, and there's also some on the 294. You don't get many seen on the 15, which is the Kidderminster to Stourport via Wilden. Well, you do see some in the field, but however, you don't get to see much pylons, rather than the likes of the 303 and the 144s and most of the 296 as well. And you do see pylons as well. You don't on the service 291, the Tenbury one, and also you don't get to see pylons either on the Ludlow service, which is the 292 from Kidderminster, and of course you get to see a few on the 125, the Stourbridge to Bridge North. So anyway, we're en route towards the Stourport area right now, and as you probably know, Stourport used to have a service from Kidderminster through to Tenbury Wells, which was a scenic version of the 291 and was operated by Yarringtons and went via Great Whitley and Aberley, but sadly that service got withdrawn and was the service 760. So then we are nearly on the approach to Stourport on 7, which is home to the Treasure Island amusements, which I've mentioned, along with the Playland and the Flamingo. And of course, Stourport has a lot of independent shops. But however, you do have bigger names to be seen in Stourport, with the likes of Tesco and Co-op and Lidl, Sainsbury's, local, which is a convenience store. And you even have B&M Express, which is like Heron Foods, and of course Superdrug, and even Timson, the cobbler shops. You even got betting shops. You've got WH Smith's, which is closing, and of course you've got Lloyd's TSB, the bank. You even got other banks in Stourport as well. So there is a lot of bigger names as well as little independents in the town. And of course, Stourport, you've got the Freeze that goes from Kidderminster around the Arley Kings area, which is operated by Diamond. It used to be known as the X-Ray and used to go from Arley Kings down to Redditch. And of course, as well as that, you've got a skate park. You even got the Riverside Meadows as well. You even got car parks for any people who prefer to come to Stourport by car. And of course you even got Dunley Hall, but unfortunately Dunley is not within Stourport area, meaning it has to be accessed by car, because there's no bus service that actually goes along that corridor anymore, following the withdrawal of the 760, which I never knew. And didn't even know that there was another Kiddie to Tenbury Wells service. And of course, Stourport used to have a railway link, which used to be part of the Oxford, Worcester and Wolverhampton Railway on the Stourbridge area. And of course, as well, in Stourport you've got local estates with the likes of Arley Kings. You've got Arley Common, Dunley, you've got Upper Mitton, you've got Burlish, you've got Charlton, you've got Titton, you've got Worsley, which is just close to Hartlebury, and then of course you've got Wilden as well, and then comes out by Summerfield and also Hoobrook, because as you know, Hoobrook is where the viaduct is located towards the Kidderminster area. And the free service is the fast and direct service between Kidderminster and Stourport, while the 15A and 15C go on a detour to serve Wilden and Burlish. And of course you've got the Ford garage, but that's over the Hoobrook way. And of course there's a McDonald's in Kidderminster as well. But however, McDonald's is off this route and is served by the 15. The 296 after Stourport will continue on to Bewdley and will go via the Bewdley Road which will become the Bewdley Road North, and then we'll come onto the A456, the Stourport Road, and then we'll turn off onto the B4195, past the Bewdley Leisure Centre, and then come into Bewdley Town Centre, which will be close to Bewdley Museum, which is a local history museum, and it's free to get in, and of course there's even crafts and even gardens at the back of the museum. And as well as that, in Bewdley there's even a fish and chip shop, there's even pubs, and you even got a Tesco Express, and of course you've got a bookshop, you've got charity shops, co-op, and of course you've got the church, which sits in the middle of Bewdley. And of course there's a lot of different shops to see in Bewdley, and we'll get to Bewdley just after Stourport to complete the video. And as you know, Bewdley is served by a variety of services, but I'll mention that when we get to Bewdley. So anyway, we're just coming along the Walshes area right now nearly, and then we'll be proceeding on towards the town of Stourport. And here is the Walshes area. Over Astley, which is also close to Astley Birth, and we also gone through Astley Cross, because of course you got Astley Cross and Arley Common, because we're on the Arley Common area, and we'll then go over the Red House Road past the King's Arms pub, and of course the Astley Cross pub, because there's a pub called the Astley Cross. And of course you got the Arley King's Methodist Church as well. And then after that it goes past a few numbers of locations. So anyway, here we are, turning off now on the B4194, and then we're going to turn right onto Red House Road and then carry along down towards the road, and then we'll join up at Arley Common and then go on to the A451, which will take us into Stourport, called the Dudley Road. So here we go right now, just nearly about to turn off right now. So here we go, just about to turn off very shortly. And as you probably know, when this route was operated by Conistons, it used Optare Solos and Optare Solo SRs, and I've had a lot of the Optare Solos with Diamond Bus, which was on the services 287 Stourbridge to Merry Hill, 250 Stourbridge Circular, 251 Stourbridge and Merry Hill Circular, 299, 298 Stourbridge Circulars, 267, 657. Well, I didn't have one on the 267, but I had one on the 657 Kingswinford to Stourbridge. I didn't mean to say the 267. And of course, I've had a solo as well on the 142 Stourbridge to Halesowen. Well, Halesowen to Stourbridge, and I've even had one on the 2 on the 202 Bromsgrove to Halesowen. I've even had one on the 42, Kidderminster to Redditch, well, only between Kidderminster and Bromsgrove. And I've even had a solo on the one from Kidderminster to Rifle Range. I've had some solos on the 580, Kidderminster to Kimver. I've even had solo on the 9A, 9C, Stourbridge, Kidderminster and Cookley Circulars. I've had even had one on the service 133 Kidderminster to Droitwich, well, one or two three solos. And anyway, we're just about to approach the town of Stourport. So then we are now on the Walshes estate, just by the Arley Kings area now, on the 296, and we shall soon be arriving into Stourport, and we will be joining onto the A451, the Dudley Road, into the town of Stourport, and crossing the River Severn again, and then for the final time we will cross the River Severn into Bewdley. So here we go right now. just over the housing estate. And as you probably know, the 296 does a lot of housing estates, and then goes into the town of Stourport itself. So then here we are, nearly arriving towards the turn-off point onto the Dunley Road, and as you can tell, we are heading nearly onto the Dunley Road after completing the trip down the Walshes area, and then heading along towards the town of Stourport, which will be coming up very soon, because as you know, Stourport is not far away from the Walshes estate, and as you probably remembered previously in one of our last videos, when we did Kidderminster Adventure version number 3, you probably realised that the freeze did not go all the way from Kidderminster to Harley Kings, because the bridge was closed off for repairs, meaning people had to walk across the bridge and then get a replacement bus that would run between the bridge and of course Harley Kings, and then people having to walk to town to catch the service into Kidderminster. And also the 296 had to divert to go towards Stourport, and I'm not sure if it did serve the estate, the Walshes estate, when the diversions were in place. And so anyway, here we are going in towards Stourport nearly. So Stourport will not be that far nearly. And so here is the houses here in Stourport. And we are soon heading to the town of Stourport, and then after that we'll head towards Bewdley via the Burlish area, because as you know, Burlish is also an estate within Stourport as well. So Burlish will be coming up as well, and then after Burlish the service will then head down into Bewdley, and that's where the service will terminate. And then after that the service will then go back to Worcester, but however it will not include the video, and then does one final trip to Bewdley, and then one final trip back to Worcester, and then changes to an early evening 294 to Kidderminster. And then the other 294 had completed a journey from the 15th. So anyway, here we are coming onto the Dunley Road right now, and we will soon be arriving into the town of Stourport, and then the service will head along towards the Walshes area before doing a circuit around the Tesco supermarket, because as you know, the service does a vice versa. It actually repeats the same road, which is of course the so-called A451. So what it does, it goes down the Gilgal, down towards the Tesco, then goes onto the Severn Road, does a turnaround, goes back on itself, and then after that it then goes onto the Mitten Street, then over the A451, and then turn onto the B41 195, and then which is of course the Bewdley Road. So anyway, there is the amusements in Stourport right now, the Treasure Island, And of course, as you know, the 296 will also become part of the Coniston Coaches Legacy Adventure, which I've been in the process of doing. So that will include the 296 route along with the other routes that Coniston did, like the 213, the Starport to Astley Birth, even the service 294 Worcester to Kidderminster, 580 Kimver to Kidderminster up to Kimver, and of course the 133, which is the Kidderminster up to Droitwich. As you probably know, 294, 296 and the 15, which were operated by Coniston, went to Aston's. The 213, Starport to Astley Birth, Thursdays only, went to Wire Forest Dial Ride. The 580 went from Coniston's back to Diamond Bus, which did the service before. And of course the 133 went forward towards Finesse Travel. And I was surprised. I was thinking Diamond could have gone for the 133 or either LMS or Aston's, but however Finesse bidded the 133, and Finesse also do another service in Droitwich, but it's Tuesdays and Thursdays only, called the 354 from Droitwich to Redditch, and there will be a Finesse travel adventure coming up very soon, so stay tuned. So then, here we are now coming towards the Tesco supermarket in Stourport, and only the 296 does the loop on the Tesco supermarket in Stourport. However, the 15A and 15C do serve the Tesco but don't do the loop compared to the 296. The 296 goes down the Severn Road, then turns off left and goes on to a little roundabout, turns round, and then goes back on itself, and then back onto the A451, and then to proceed on towards Bewdley, just by the old church, which is located close by, just off Mitten Street. So here we are, coming onto the loop now, just by the Tesco supermarket in Stourport. So here we go, we're just going to do the little mini roundabout and then going onto the Severn Road before heading towards Bewdley. So anyway, here we are coming to the mini roundabout, which is just right here. And so here's the mini roundabout just right here at the Tesco store in Stourport. So here we go, and we're just going to go past the Tesco for the past the Tesco again, and then we will head towards Bewdley. So here we go, past the Tesco again, and then we're going to head up towards Bewdley via Burlish. Well, down towards Bewdley. Why am I saying up? So anyway, here we go. Up towards the old church, and then we'll turn back onto the same road which we did previously to go towards Tesco's, and we're just going to turn right. So anyway, we're back on the same road now, all the way towards the top end, and then we'll head on towards the Bewdley area, and then the journey will soon be completed. And turning off straight then goes on towards Birch Coppice, which is further on, and that is served by the Freeze from Arley Kings.
And here we go, we're just about to turn off left. So, as you probably might have noticed, my phone battery was dropping down to a low percent, so then, here we are now on the Bewdley Road North, all the way to Bewdley, which has come from the Bewdley Road, and we're heading towards Burlish. And of course, there's a crossover point in Burlish. That is, of course, Burlish Crossing and Kingsway. And then, of course, you got Lickhill Road North, which goes on to Lower Lickhill Road and then on to the main Lickhill Road. The Bewdley Road North carries on, which is, of course, the B4 195, and then goes into the Stourport Road. And however, the Stourport Road carries on as the A456 towards the back end of the West Midlands Safari Park and joins up onto the Kidderminster Road, which then joins onto the Bewdley Hill, and then the Bewdley Hill comes onto another Bewdley Road, which is just by the Kidderminster General Hospital, and crosses over Blake Brook, which is the A4535. And then Bewdley Road continues into Kidderminster, and then the turn off goes to Proudcross Ringway, and then goes on to the Franch Road, to then proceed onto the Bridge North Road into Bridge North. And then, of course, it also continues as the St Mary's Ringway into the town of Kidderminster, and then joins up onto a road called the Birmingham Road, called the A456. And that goes all the way towards Birmingham. It crosses over the Chester Road North, and Birmingham Road goes all the way past the Hodge Hill, and then goes along through Blakedown, and it takes a while, and then joins up onto the Kidderminster Road South, and then joins up onto a Worcester Road, and then back onto a Kidderminster Road, and then of course the Stourbridge Road goes as the A491, and then the Kidderminster Road goes along towards another Stourbridge Road, and then the Birmingham Road carries on to Hagley Hill, and then goes onto a roundabout. Now you probably noticed there was a bit of clicking going on. That is only me with the mouse connected to my PC, just showing you the roads on Google Maps from where they link up to. So anyway, we're just coming out the Burlish area, and we will be climbing up for the final time, and then be arriving into Bewdley, and then we'll be terminating at Bewdley Lode Street, because that's the terminus of the 296 service from Worcester. So anyway, here we are climbing up all the way towards Bewdley, which will be the final destination, and also the popular Georgian town in Worcestershire. So then we're on our way to Bewdley, which will be the final destination on the 296. And as you probably know, we're travelling what was once the old 16. That was the Stourport to Bewdley, and that was like a good shuttle service for passengers going from Stourport to Bewdley to join routes like the 291 Kidderminster to Tenbury Wells, 292 to Ludlow, 125 to Bridge North. And that avoided them going via Kidderminster, because as you know, Kidderminster can be busy. However, the 16 was an alternative to get to Bewdley, to connect on to places like Bridge North, and even onto the likes of Tenbury and Ludlow. So anyway, here we are, just climbing up the hill, and we shall soon be arriving at Bewdley, where the journey will end. And of course, as you know, Adam King, his YouTube channel, full capital letters, he did the route going the same way as what I'm doing, just before the first coronavirus lockdown, from when it was operated by Conistons. So anyway, here we are, just arriving into Bewdley. We will soon be heading by the Bewdley Leisure Centre, and then we will be terminating at Bewdley Lode Street.
And that will be the end of the journey for the 296. And all I have to say, hope you have enjoyed the journey. And please be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures. And as you probably might know, we always do a bit of updates, and that was just me typing in the background. So as you probably know now, we have just reached 550 subscribers. So let's hope we can go beyond 550 subscribers up to the highest number, but who knows. So here we are, just arriving into Bewdley, and of course Bewdley has good connections to the likes of Ludlow, Tenbury, even Bridge North, and even connections to Hales Park and Bark Hill, and then the link onto Kidderminster and even onto Stourbridge. So here we are, just going along the Bewdley estate, and then we'll be going along the river right now. We'll be nearly going along the river into Bewdley, and then we'll cross the River Severn for the final time into Bewdley, and we will be just outside the Bewdley Fish and Chip Shop. So all I have to say, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been a pleasure to show you a lot of the bus routes that comes up on the channel. The next video to come on the channel is going to be the 142 Stourbridge to Hales, Halesowen to Stourbridge. Might include the 002 Merrill to Halesowen, but we'll see. But however, I won't be doing the Wheelie Castle section on the 002, but I will be doing that maybe at some point in the near future, but who knows. So here we are, just arriving into the Bewdley area right now, and that brings to the end of the video. So I'll see you again for another Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures vlog, and thank you for coming along, and we will see you all again very soon. Bye for now.